Yeah, we want to go ahead, since this is a women speaking sports show, we want to go ahead and highlight the woman of the week.
Right, Miss
Okay,
Dawn
Miss Dawn Staley.
Yes. Former UVA great.
You know,
We gotta get that love back down.
Yes. You know, former UVA.
What she say? Why?
Why?
Did I do it for her?
Yes, you did. That's right.
Did I use
That's
some
right.
accent?
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah. Very good.
Oh my gosh.
Like New York.
This is a big moment.
Yeah, I'm stunned myself. This is really good. I really love that.
This
for
is,
you.
it's April, but that's still March Madness.
So how awesome is she? Just how awesome is she?
Well, she's undefeated as championship team. She's won both 2%.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, I'll say this about Dawn. The thing that really inspires me about her is the fact that we all know being a great player doesn't equate to being a great coach. Right? We're watching the sidelines. We see what happens consistently. We know that you've got to be a leader among men or women, right? We saw what happened with Juwan Howard and all that crazy.
Oh my goodness, my great coach.
I'm just saying.
My great coach,
and
Juwan
And
Howard.
I love Juwan Howard too. But
No, he's not. They didn't fire him.
But with Dawn Staley,
Teachable moment.
what you get an opportunity to see is how someone can transition from phenomenal producing college player into WNBA, phenomenal career in the WNBA, and transition all of that into the intellect of a skilled coach. Gino's no slouch. You know, he didn't coach a losing team.
Right.
He didn't bring a losing team to come and lose out on the championship. For the team that was ready to play.
But I will say that I do think the coaching in that game is important.
Absolutely.
So
That's
even though
absolutely
Gino is no slouch, I think he got out.
That's my point. That's my exact
Yeah.
point is that because a lot of people will be like, oh, and I'm like, wait a minute, I need you to pause for a minute and realize that a woman coach coached against a legendary men's coach, and she brought everything to the table until her team responded to all of her coaching. I love how she played calm. I love that she knows how to use the clock wisely. I'm a stan for the rest of the time that she's out there, and I can't wait to see her make it into a Hall of Fame. I think she's going to be
She's going
definitely
As a player and a coach.
Yeah,
her
very
career
excited.
is going to end with her having Roy Williams level status. I
agree.
I agree.
And I hope the Gamecocks can hold on to it. That's going to be the big thing.
Oh, so I was totally wrong about St. Peter's, but I think she will because something about her heart. So if you watch player and coaches, you recognize that she's very serious and intense, and her girl, she's into them behind.
Yeah.
But I can tell that she shows them reciprocal love.
Yeah.
Because they respond
respect her.
favorably
Yeah.
Right.
in the midst of the pressure that she puts on them.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I don't know where you go and find that chemistry somewhere else. I mean, what better thing they could do? Over almost half of her team are McDonald's All-American.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know what? If they don't, I know that they recently renegotiated contract with her and everything else. This might be another time to look at what incentives they're giving her, because at the end of the day, great coaching, it's why we see the transition from St. Pete to Seton Hall. Great coaching draws greater players.
Yeah.
And people are going to want to be in South Carolina playing for Dawn Staley as they should.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting to me. It's like you think about South Carolina and you really think about a different legacy. But I think the women's basketball team, I think their baseball team are the only two teams that have had a national championship, which was kind of shocking to me. I was like, wow, so kudos to her, and I hope they can keep her.
And that's so cool. Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's not forget it was 7 years ago, because I got a little tidbit, a little nugget.
Yeah,
7 years ago when they beat UConn and they won the whole thing, the first team they played in the tournament was UNC Asheville.
That's exactly
And my
right.
daughter played in that game.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, she got on TV for like 2 minutes. But anyway, no. The other thing that I really like about her is that when she was talking afterwards, it wasn't just about the star players. It just wasn't about the players that played. She took the time and individually acknowledged all of the players, because you got us here. You practiced with us. You showed up every day. You were here. And I just really like that because a lot of times it's just about the most valuable player. It's about who performs the best during the tournament.
Yeah, you really do need everybody. Everybody
Yeah,
plays a
right.
role, and it kind of goes back to when in my running, and people are like, "Oh, I just stand on the sidelines," or "Oh, I just hand out water." You have no idea what a difference you make for that individual by
Absolutely.
doing those things. So it is a huge effort, and everybody contributes in different ways. But that's how you get to a winning team.
Yeah,
And you know what?
yeah.
Shout out to South Carolina. Historically, Dawn Staley would not have been coaching in South Carolina. And I'd like to bring up points like that because it's important when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. When you bring in someone like a Dawn Staley, who from so many levels is a reflection of diversity in coaching. A lot of women's teams are coached by men, right? You bring in a woman coach, you bring in a minority coach in multiple ways. She comes into a Southern school that does not have a tradition of bringing in minority coaching, and she makes an immediate difference. That program has looked different from the day Staley walked in there and started coaching them. And I love what you said about that. That she does acknowledge every single individual. It's very hard, anybody who's coached, even if you coach Pee Wee or Pop Warner, you know that it's hard to gather people, right?
Yeah.
It's like the proverbial herding cats. When you get to a point where you are coaching people who have talent, they know they're talented. Some of you have daughters who are in that position. It can be just as hard to coach those individuals because they know what they know. They've worked hard enough to get to this level. And so I agree with Dr. Danny, and you can see that she has given them the level of respect that makes them reciprocate in the way that they play, the way that they listen. I mean, that is a dream and a beauty.
She's put that school, as far as athletics go, let's face it, on the map.
Yes.
So I think they would be absolutely foolish to let her go. I mean,
Absolutely. I know they're going to do everything they can to
they
keep her.
will, they will.
Yeah.
Well, is there talk of her going anywhere else?
No,
And sometimes when you're
It's the
successful,
nature
that's.
Well, yeah,
that's
I get
it.
that.
If
But I
she
mean,
was gonna jump, she would jump at
I
the
agree.
first trip.
Right.
I agree.
But I think that's also the value of, I think that's the respect of when someone is winning and doing well. People should come after them because there's that extra a little boost of knowing you're appreciated, you're wanted, you're respected. I hope that ESPN gives her some accolades at the ESPN Awards too. Like,
Absolutely.
she really deserves it. And the fact that she's 100%, as Dr. Danny said, Dawn Staley's perfection.
I agree.
Agreed.
We
Agreed.
agree on something.
Wow. Wow, way to go. Agreement.
I love that.
well, on the other side of the court for that game, Paige Buckner is now crossed over 1 million.
I know.
Million followers. And she's
That's
and weren't we
awesome.
talking last week? Hasn't she monetized
Yes.
really well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and and I said it last week. I feel like
And
these
she was a
athletes
comeback this
deserve
year
that.
They
too.
do.
She had a big injury at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
She
didn't
really
really
came
play her
back.
whole season.
Yeah.
So good for her. Good for
Yeah,
her.
and what's
Also
interesting-
Bishop
but,
on the other
but what I
side.
really liked is
Oh.
that even the commentators knew what the other teams didn't do that played them. And they
Mhm.
immediately said, Don Staley said it's key that they have to make her go left. Now, when she went left, that first time she didn't score.
Mhm.
But my point is, it's harder for her to score in that position to
Right.
challenge her. So
Yeah.
my thing is that if you're going to do something, you've got to make adjustments. And the other coaches, I never really saw them adjust to the fact that she
Absolutely
always
not.
went
No, they
right.
didn't.
No.
They didn't. I think
Well,
that was the
yeah.
issue with a lot of. But
Yeah.
I think truly they just were the highest caliber team. Really, no doubt. I thought Stanford was really good, but
I put them
Stanford,
on all
yeah.
bracket.
Yeah.
I put them on
Yeah.
bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Gamecocks, and that was the best